Hello, welcome back to my channel, Sonia Kilji, where I am going to be talking about my biggest parenting fail. Now, mind you, I am only a year and a half, almost 2 years into this parenting thing, so I'm sure I will make a shit ton of mistakes. But for right now, I've got a couple, but one big one that I wanted to confess and hopefully help other parents avoid and hold myself accountable to be more mindful of it going forward because it's really not something that I'm proud of. And I think deep down inside, I really do feel like I'm a good mom. Like I love my kid is loved like crazy. She has everything she could ever want and need. We work on teaching her manners. We try to get her out of her shell and be fearless and learn and do a lot of educational activities with her. And I will say, being a parent was a lot easier pre-pandemic. I remember when Lily was just a couple months old. I mean, we were doing swim lessons and we were going to gymnastics and we were doing story time at the library. And I had run a mom's group that actually grew up to about 100 members. And I was running that every single week. And we were doing like really cool, like sensory activities every week in that group. And I was really proud of that. But then the pandemic hit. And what consequently happened is we went into hardcore quarantine for about 2 to 3 months. So, I mean, not leaving the house at all. And I think the first month was really exciting almost because it was kind of like, hey, we're on vacation, we're all together, we're getting a chance to spend all this time together, which we don't normally get a chance to do. And we really kind of enjoyed it and embraced it. And by the second month, we started unhinging a little bit. And towards the end of the second month, started losing our shit. And then, third month was really hard. And we were going stir crazy and all of that. So what happened is that Lily wasn't in school in those months, and not because we were having cases in our school. Our school stayed relatively safe, or very safe actually, the entire time. But what ended up happening is that like my mom is very high risk, and so we kept Lily out of school because we didn't want her to jeopardize my mother's health, and my mom can't live without seeing Lily. So that was that. And so Lily was not in school for a couple months, and I was trying to work, and she was getting into that 1 year old. She was, hitting that 1 year old stage where she was very active and moving and getting into things and putting things into her mouth. And I started giving her my phone. And it was only for a couple minutes at a time. I was like, here's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Here's CoComelon, here's Baby Shark, here's Moana, here's the Trolls soundtrack. Just like give me like 15 to 20 minutes to get things done. And from there, she eventually learned, or we both learned, that she sat very still when she was given screen time, and she just loved it. Like she was obsessed with it. And I know from my background in early childhood education that you're really not supposed to give kids screen time before 2 years old. And there's actually a host of studies done that show that it could lead to sensory processing disorders and overstimulation and even, attention disorders and things of that sort and all of that. So screen time is not good. It's universally agreed upon, especially when children are younger than 2. But here I was, this pandemic mother, trying to get some work done, and the only way I could do it is handing her the phone. And that 10 minutes turned to 15, turned to 20, turned to 25 minutes, turned to 30 minutes, and now it's an hour, maybe sometimes a couple minutes over an hour. And I would have to say the guilt is eating me alive. But I always remind myself that, as a mom, you're not going to do everything perfectly. And I remember even before I became a mother, I would see families hand off like tablets or phones to their kids, especially when they were outside or at restaurants. And I'd be like, oh, that would never be me. I want to be just so connected. And then I became a mom and I realized, sometimes you just need a couple of minutes to get things done. You just need a couple of minutes to compose yourself or just complete something or just keep your child busy and engaged where you can put your clothes on and brush your teeth and things of that sort. So I'm trying to be easy on myself. I'm trying to, um, forgive myself for this, but also remind myself that tomorrow's a new day. And every day I wake up with the intention we're going to be better about screen time today. And I don't know, it hasn't happened yet, but I'm working on it. So that is something I'm going to be consciously working on for the next few days and weeks, and I'll keep you guys updated. And I promised I would keep you guys updated. In a previous video, I had talked about how I was having lots of energy issues, and I took a B12 shot. I have to say, it made a pretty solid difference. I feel really good. It's not like crazy dramatic different, but I do feel really good. So there's that. So that's my update on the B12 shot. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. And thank you again for watching. Take a minute now to please tell me what some of your biggest parenting mistakes are, or your fears about maybe becoming a parent, and also any advice to get my kid off of screen time. So I would greatly appreciate that. Thanks.